morning. Good morning. I'm glad you're here. I'm Rabbi Brian. This is the Saturday service. Can you guys hear the music there?
Yes.
Okay. I'm having that thing where I don't hear it. But welcome to the Saturday service. This is. I was writing about this, about what I do, and I realized that I might be the only rabbi whose congregation is maybe only 10 to 20% Jewish.
But
We can pretend.
No, I'm quite happy with how we have things. I'm thinking about what my job is, and my job is to help people find connection and find some sense of, if I can use the word, holiness. And I think that's priority number one than playing teams. So I'm glad you guys are all here. And when I'm talking about you guys, let me switch camera screens so everyone who's watching afterwards, say hi. This is one page of people who are all here joining. Guys, say something, would you?
Hey guys, what's up,
everybody,
Hi, Michael.
One, well said. Ribbit. Well said, everybody. So, welcome Carol and Bob and Ellis and Charles and Aaron.
Charles, I'm not Charles.
That's what it
I don't know why it's
said.
coming up Charles.
I'm just reading.
It's Janet. I'm Janet.
Yes,
I'm not
I
Charles.
know you, Janet. I apologize. And Betsy, I was just reading through names, so let me take a moment and actually do this other thing where I look at people's faces, which is, and I can say hi to Violet and hi to Carol, and I can say hi to Sari and good morning. Glad all of you who are here. I was thinking, because that's what I do, I think like that's what we all do, a thought came across my mind that this is, in a sense, this is my version of a service, and I'm glad you guys are all here. And I was thinking of it a little bit as like, I'm trying to build, you know what? I really don't like the way this thought is coming out. I have a note. It made really good sense yesterday, and I'm going to clean that note back up before I present it again. So, hi. Let me take a moment.
Hi.
I want to do a bit of review. Today is April the 30th, 2022. There were a few topics that came up that came up last week that I wanted us to reflect back on. One of which was we had some homework of something to look at. And anyone have a remembering what homework we were looking at? It was two main words. Is that not enough for me to? So we were looking at this word. We were looking at the
resentment and disappointment.
Yeah, we were looking at resenting and disappointment. And we're saying that we have a choice. We have a choice at all times. And can someone give me what was the choice that we have?
Do it now or do it later.
Yeah, do it now or do it later. You can either disappoint someone up front and say, no, I don't really want to do that thing you just asked me to do. You can either deal with the anguish up front, or you can do it later and do the thing that was asked of you didn't really want to do, and resent them. And I'm curious, so we've had a week to play with this, to think about it. Let me just see by a show of hands, how many of you thought about this in this last week? A few of you, yeah. And was anyone able, because of this, to say no at the pass and to stave off future resentment? Joe's got her hand up. Joe, do you want to tell us a moment about that?
I just did it this morning with something that's really challenging for me. My little 8-year-old granddaughter loves to spend the night here. But I am tired, and I really am not quite up to having her here, but we're going to go watch her play softball. And so every time we go with her to her events and it's the weekend, she's always going to ask, can I spend the night?
Right.
So I already up fronted, we're going to the softball game, but I'm tired.
Good job, Joe.
Yeah. So
Very good.
disappointed her, which, it's that I love that child. It's so hard to say no to grandkids.
Yeah. But you took care of
Good
yourself.
for you, Joe.
I did.
You
I
took care
did.
of yourself,
I
so
did.
good
I
job, Joe.
said I gotta sleep. I'm sorry.
So I will leave this as homework for everybody else who has not yet done it or who would like to do it. I apologize. I'm switching around the screens here and I'm getting myself a little bit seasick. There we are. So continue to work on that. Good job. I had another thing of review. I did feel that I didn't. So 2 weeks ago we had a memorial service for Nikki, and last week I don't think I brought up. We didn't talk a lot about closure again the week after, and I wanted to just come back and to own that for a moment. So I apologize if you feel like I left you hanging there. In related other, I guess it's related. There was also this thought last week of life and this service are more buses than taxis. We said last week that life is more like a bus than a taxi. You're not going to get left off exactly where you thought you wanted to go. This service is probably not going to be exactly perfect for you. That's okay. This is a bus. It's getting a lot of people to towards a destination, not a taxi. 2 other reviews. We're doing very well so far this morning. I'm judging, so just know that. I thought that was funny too. Thank you, Joe, for being the only
You're
person
welcome.
to laugh out loud.
I thought it tickled me.
And everyone else, how are we doing? Hi, Barb. Hi, Kip, Ann, Gord, Aaron, Joy, Michael, Rita. How are you guys doing this morning? We're doing all right?
Yeah, fine.
Wow.
Okay, good.
Not bad.
Good.
Getting there.
I did say last week, because we got down to like 5 minutes left or less than 5 minutes left, and I said, I'm going to bring in a new topic. And my little committee of people who, a vocal group of you said, no, don't do that. We've talked about, don't bring in a new topic at the end. And I said offhandedly, I'm scared of them. I better not do it. I want to go back to that because that's only partially true. Scared of them? Yeah, so let's look at this. There was a guy by the name of Lawrence Kohlberg, and we're going to go straight into a look a bit about morality. And Kohlberg said that there were 3 stages to morality. The first one, where it's all about me. Good and bad are based on myself. If it's good for me, then it's good. If it's bad for me, then it's bad. Easy, simple. Second stage is about a group. So let me add on to this. And that, so I do something because it's good, I get rewarded, or I avoid doing something bad because it's negative, I'll get punished. And then you start doing things not out of your own self-interest, but you start seeing things as a group. And am I doing it for the group? And is it good for the group? Not necessarily just me, but is it good for a group? And he says most people stagnate. And this is where most people wind up their whole lives in their morality. Is it my group? It's good for my group. It's good. If it's not good for my group, it's bad. And then the last one, the third stage he talks about is ideals. That we do something not because it's necessarily even good for our group. We do it because it's just the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. And I'm not doing it as in the previous stages because, hey, if I do it, I'm going to get a cookie. And I'm not doing it because if I don't do it, I'm going to get punished. I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do, or I'm not doing it because it's the right thing to do. Hey, look, we just learned something. The push on it is, everybody, this is the one you're going for. Doesn't matter who sees you do it or not. do it because it's the right thing to do. Okay.
In real life, I do all three at the same time.
Amen, Ellis. Right? Yeah. It's not like you graduate out of one. I still have a lot of selfishness and do some things because it's in my best interest. Like not getting in trouble with the group after the service. Okay, thank you for bringing that in, Alice. Any other comments or thoughts on this we have at this moment? All right, I'm going to bring up a slide. Get in trouble, we just did that. Oh, I have a question for the group. Hi, group, I have a question. Other thing I wanted us to look at was a spiritual barometer, and let me, hold on. I'm all overwhelmed in my doing right now, and I need a moment to regroup.
Regroup away.
Thank you. I'm going to switch over. I'm not going to do where I was doing. I'm going to bring this in instead. Here's a great little cartoon, a meme. Me in 2019. If I could just have a week with nowhere to go and nothing to do, I could get my house in order. Me in 2021. Nope, that wasn't the problem. If I could just have a week at home and nowhere to go and nothing to do, I could get my house in order. Nah, that wasn't the problem. That's a pretty funny thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask, fill it in with something else. If I could just, or if the world would just blankety blankety blue, I would blankety blankety blee. Oh shit, that wasn't the problem. If I could just blankety blankety blank, or the world would just blankety blankety blank, then everything would blankety blankety blue. Dang it, that wasn't the problem. What do you have? What thoughts do you have? If I could just blankety blankety blank, or if the world...
So it doesn't matter what you do, you can't achieve your ideal.
Okay. You're meta, and you're in front of me on that. Thank you, Rob. Let's build up a few more concretes, a few more of if blank blank. Yeah, Amy, what do you got?
I was going to say it's if blank blankety blank doesn't happen, you have to not. You don't punish yourself.
Yeah. You're totally right. Wait, but I'm still just looking for some more examples. If
an
only
job.
Say that again.
Just get an excellent job. If I could just have an excellent job.
If I just had an excellent job, then my life would be in order. If I just got that raise, then my finances would be all right.
If I just got to move out of my parents' home and out of the caregiving role and go live in my own house, I would have time to write.
Right. And then,
Right.
Yeah, if I just didn't live in this place, I would write. Me in 2021, I guess that wasn't the problem. What else? Thank you, Janet.
I went through this last year
Yeah,
because
with the
if only
move.
I could have sat in my study and really worked at it, I would have got all the boxes sorted.
Right.
And I didn't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If it only weren't for this thing, then my life would be in order.
Yeah.
How about doing only that which makes you happy?
If I could only do the things that made me happy, I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could just have this little dog go to Idaho instead of live here, then I could get things done.
I could get things done, and then you find out, nope. That was,
Procrastination.
yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's what it was. But it was
Procrast-
also depression.
And some of it is like some of that's brain chemistry you can't do anything about. But the other piece of it, which I wanted us to look at, is how much of the time are we putting the problem outside of ourselves? We're saying if only this thing in the world would change, then I would be fine. And there's a phrase by Shanti Deva. I'm going to put this on the screen here. He said to cover all the earth with sheets of leather. Like if you didn't want to get your toe stubbed on a sharp rock, you could cover the whole earth with a sheet of leather. They didn't have carpets in the time he wrote. To cover the whole earth with a sheet of leather, where could such amounts of skin be found? But with the leather soles of just my shoes, it is as though I could cover the earth. There's a different way of saying this phrase, which is, it's easier to wear slippers than insist the whole world is carpeted. It's easier to wear slippers than insist the whole world needs to be carpeted. But how often do we do the other thing? How often do we say, if only blippity bloppity blue, if only the current government would change, then I would feel safe.
Problem is that you can't know what the future is going to be. So if only, then this. The this is not known and cannot be guaranteed.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. All right.
Reminds me of the old
inside your head.
Yeah.
But so I got a few different voices happening at the same time, so I missed
It's
a bunch.
only inside your head.
It's only inside your head. Where are you going to find the comfort? The comfort doesn't come from from the outside. You have to find it inside, and that's going to tie us all the way into where we're going today. Thank you, Rob. There was another comment I want to get to. Yes.
If only if wishes were horses, beggars would ride.
If wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Oh, because then they
We'd
would
all
have...
ride.
Okay, that's a clever one. Thank you, Alice.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn our thoughts at this time towards, we're going to uplift the thoughts of some people. And I was thinking about this because we're not calling it prayer time anymore. We're lifting people up in thoughts. And I thought that's really, I mean, who cares if we know the efficacy if prayers do work, but just knowing that somebody's thinking about you, I think that's got to be a good thing. So, Joe, you're the maintainer of the list of people whose names we want to lift up. So if you would read that list of names, please.
Okay, here we go. Rita Wadsworth, Kip Johnston, Rita, Jeff and Kathleen, Nane's family and friends, Nikki's memory, and all those are grieving her and all those that are grieving in general. April, Frida, Gary, Lauren Nickel, Leaders of the World, Shelley, Theo, Shirley W., Carol, Michael, Derek, Francis, Alex, Diane, Aaron, Francis, Maria, Kip we've already got, Patty and Ray, Violet and Jess, Pat and Elizabeth, Greta, Ken Ludwig, Tatiana, relocation for Shmuley and Maggie. I think I said Ray and Patty already. Rosalind, Gabriel, and the Lee family.
So let's take a minute of time starting just now. We'll end at 8 on my clock at 8:20. All right, my friends. Here's a way of putting the question that we were looking at. How certain are you the problem is outside of you? How certain are you that the problem exists outside of you?
Not at all.
It does definitely feel like, if I'm falling down the stairs, it does definitely feel like the problem is outside of me. Like my bones hitting stairs that's outside of me. But no, it's my outsides getting hit down the stairs. How certain are we that the problems are outside of, how, or maybe can we give a percentage? Aaron,
it's all an inside job.
It's all inside. Do we all of our problems are of our own making? Really?
No.
No.
I wouldn't say it that way.
Okay.
No, not that far.
Okay, so somewhere between it's somewhere between we make our own problems and we are not at fault.
And it depends on which problem you're talking about.
All right, I'm talking about I'm annoyed this morning. I'm finding myself this morning to be a little extra. Everything everyone's doing is annoying today.
But that's reaction. That's not reality.
It feels real.
That's internal.
It feels real. It feels like my daughter was obnoxious this morning. She wasn't. She was totally. That's a made up one. She's asleep. But I could justify that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's easier for you to say that the things that are annoying me are inside my own head. How many of you are willing to pick up a mirror for that one?
Mm-hmm.
It's all interconnected, baby.
Our problems, and this is going to be the thrust of. I talked a few weeks ago about committing to in this service, and it got very confused in what I was saying, and that could be because I wasn't exactly certain of what I was saying either. I got filled up with this idea of commitment, and I don't know how you want to. I'm not asking you to sign a contract that you're going to show up every Saturday for the next 2 years. That's not a commitment that I'm looking for.
I wouldn't sign that contract.
Good. The commitment I'm looking for has to do with this thing that's on the screen right now. How certain are you that the problem is outside of you? And and asking you to commit to seeing that of the levers you have in your life, at your disposal, in front of you, the things that you can change, that you're probably going to get the biggest bang from your buck by changing your perception and seeing that you are responsible for a large portion of the things that aren't going the way that you want them to go.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, good, because that was feeling awkward. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so when I hear,
how
just
certain,
do this, and you'll be okay. Like that.
Right.
I hear it,
yeah.
And I don't think you mean to say just turn the switch on.
No, I don't. Thank you.
Turn that frown upside down.
No, please, for God's sake, don't do that. But I'm asking us to make a. Can we put a pause, put a marker in our thoughts right now, and hopefully I'm going to be able to bring this all the way back. I posted this to Instagram the other day. A gentle reminder that you're worthy of love always, not when you get your money right, not when you lose that weight, not when you're successful, but now. You're worthy of love as you are in this moment.
Mm-hmm. Preach on.
A gentle reminder that you're worthy of love always, not when you get money, not when you lose weight, not when you're successful, but now. You're worthy of love right in this moment. Right? We're all that one we like, right? We agree with that. We all are deserving of love exactly as we are. So here's a question, and it feels a little bit like Zeno's paradox or some odd thing is, how, if I'm deserving of love right now, how do I change how I am right now to be how I need to be so that I'll be deserving of the love that I already should have?
You learn to love yourself.
Excellent answer.
Yeah.
So the thing that needs to change is, in order for me to have more love, I need to accept more love and see that it's an inside job.
Love yourself first.
I have to see that that's an inside job. And the
You
You
commitment...
don't have to change in order to be loved.
No.
We don't have to change in order to be loved. Can I hear a few other people who think that might be important say that back? I don't need to change in order to be loved.
I don't need to change to be loved.
Change in
Amen.
order to be loved.
Be loved.
And if you need
I
to
don't
say that
need
again,
to
go ahead,
change.
say that again, because I don't need to change in order to be loved.
I don't need to change to be loved.
In order to be
Change
loved.
in order to be loved.
Anybody else having a little bit of the feels going on?
And I'm worthy of love, even if I'm disappointing people.
You want to say that one
I'm
again,
disappointing
Janet?
myself.
I like that.
Yeah. Or yes, if somebody's disappointed, even if the person is myself, you're right.
And
So
we
like that.
disappoint ourselves more than we disappoint other people, because we're always
Yeah.
trying to match up to something that may not be. It's all in the mind.
And how do we start to love ourselves when we feel like we aren't exactly worthy right now?
Make it how you make it.
I'm gonna leave it as let's leave it as a question that we don't all answer together. Let's leave that maybe as a question that we work on the answer for ourselves.
Jack has his hand up.
Go ahead, Jack, and then Harold.
Yeah, when we start loving ourselves, we're actually loving the God within us.
Amen. 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 And I'm going to ask, and Jack, thank you. Absolutely. Yeah, I had Harold. I was going to hold on, I got Jeff Horner's got his grandfather
Jeff.
clock going off. Thanks,
I love
Jeff. Go ahead, Harold.
I've got a question. I've got a daughter who complains bitterly about her status all the time, and she's basically unwilling to do anything about it. And that's kind of a hard situation to love somebody who complains all the time about her status and never changes and never does anything about it.
It is hard to love people as
It
they
is
are.
hard.
And
But you have to love them.
Oh, wait. So I'm going to ask
First.
ask again that we go back to, if we can, let's talk in the first person singular. What I have learned is when I love myself, I feel awkward. Because when we do it in the second person, what you learn is, and you must do, it's not, it reads a little funny. Let's go Chad and Lisa, then Christina, then Rob. Chad.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I recently watched a webinar on LinkedIn about how to deal with difficult people.
Uh-huh.
And it was really good because he went into, if most of the people you encounter are difficult to you, it may be you that's the problem.
Right.
It's hard to see yourself as the problem because you're seeing everybody as difficult, but you have to look at yourself and how much of it is you.
Right.
It was really interesting.
It was very sobering and not a thought people want to entertain. Maybe I'm the biggest cause of my problems.
It's easier to say it's everybody else.
Right, and that's back to Shantideva, that we have to change. If I could only carpet the whole world, then things would be fine. And maybe the thing is, I got to learn to be kind to myself and put some shoes on. Christina, go ahead. Thank you, Chad.
Well, I'm thinking if I meet a problem and I feel discomfort, maybe I need this discomfort as an incentive to effect a change.
Yeah, it's a wonderful perspective if you can get it, right? Is to see that my difficulties are here to teach me something. I'm going to go on a quick tangent because it's related to that. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. I apologize. Let me stick with the topic at hand. Rob, go ahead, and then Al. Thank you,
So
Christina.
Billy Joel sang a song, and I'm going to change the words. I love me just the way I am.
Yeah.
Won't you try changing?
Yeah. Go ahead. Thank you, Rob. Al?
Yeah, it strikes me that loving somebody who's not looking out for themselves, for me, it makes me sad. And sometimes I realize that part of what makes it so hard to love that person is to deal with my own inner sadness, deal with that emotion honestly and candidly.
Thank you, Al. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good point.
Ron has his hand up.
Go ahead, Ron. Thank you.
Sometimes I have the desire to fix everything that I see as a problem, including other people. Don't do it as well with myself. And so the problem that I have is that if I can't fix the other person, I resent them.
Very, very honest of you, Ron. Thank you. Yeah.
That's a good point, Ron.
Thank you guys all. Let me. I'm going to move our topic a moment, and I'm going to ask. We're going to try doing a poll. If you are on Facebook, you can write something in the Facebook chat. You won't actually get to see the poll because that's how this works. If you're on Facebook or YouTube and you would like to join, please do. Do we have anybody who's here? I think I had some people who said that they were going to join the Zoom group for the first time this week. Is that anyone who's here for the first time and wants to say hello?
Oh, me.
Was that you, Janet?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining. And you came over from the Facebook group?
I came, no, I didn't come from the Facebook group. I did the poetry thing about a month ago or something. But since I was caregiving for my parents full time, I couldn't do both things.
Well, glad that you're here. Thank you for
We got a
joining.
caregiver 4 days ago, and now all of a sudden
You got time.
I can do this. See, that was if this happened, I could do this.
Yeah.
It actually
That's
worked.
good.
So here's a
Welcome,
thing that
Janet.
I've been thinking about in the back of my head of a lot of people who've been doing this for weeks and weeks and weeks, and how we should be mindful that there are always new people joining who don't know some of the dynamics, who don't know some of the phrases that we might use. And I want us to be cautious, and please, I do my best to call myself out, but if I use a phrase that is not in the general, if it's particular to this group, to please call me out on that, so that other people can feel as welcomed as we were at once when we were all starting. Yeah. Here's something that I got from Candace. It says this: I've been watching on YouTube stream the last few weeks and enjoying the archives there as well. It's become a highlight of my week. I also read your theology book. I'm still sitting with it because despite 20 years of reading about other religions and philosophies, I can't seem to get the picture of an angry old guy out of my head. I look forward to tomorrow. So it was, for me, it's delightful to welcome more people to come in. And if you don't know this, yours truly wrote what is the world's best fun theology workbook. And it is the second best theology workbook. It's the best fun one. But there's only one other person who put out a theology workbook. And his really, he already knew that the answer is all roads lead to Jesus. And mine doesn't do that. Mine is much more open, and it's got lots of spaces for you to write things in and try to figure out your theology yourself. This is like do-it-yourself spiritual direction. Alex, if you can put the link to the Etsy store up in the chat, it's in that blue section of our document. So if anyone would like a theology workbook sent to them, you should know how to do that. Let's try this. Here's a poll that's about to happen. Okay. Years and years and years and years and years ago, I taught at a magic camp. I was 17 years old. I was a counselor. I used to go to magic camp as a little one from when I was 9 years old. And when I was 17, I became a counselor and I started teaching. And I found out that I'm really good at teaching. I knew that, but it became really clear that it's just a skill that I have. I'm really good at teaching. And I taught magic tricks for a long time. And then I did SAT tutoring as I got older, and I was really good at doing that too. And it didn't matter what, as long as it was teaching, I was good at it. And I was good at teaching Judaism and teaching kids rote prayers, and I could make it fun. And the question was always, okay, Brian, you have this skill of being able to teach. What's the most important things that you can teach? And that's how we wound up here at the Saturday service doing this. Is I feel I have a gift of being able to teach, and if I can teach anything, and I can, I don't mean that with a lot of hubris, but I'm just a good teacher, is that I'd like to teach like what we're doing, of like how to get through life and how to have a better life, what to do with those impossible people. And so here's the poll that's coming up is, here's some questions. What would you like to learn with me? And I put some possible answers up on the board. So I don't know how the poll works on your end, but you should be able to see a poll that just opened up. And I should be able to share the results with you. All right, so I got 6% participation right now. There we go. The answers are scrolling in. So the question, if you're on Facebook or if you're watching afterwards, it's very hard for me to cater this service to you unless you let me know what you'd like. But the question, they're moving. It's great. So patience is one of them. Gratitude, forgiveness. And then there's one that seems to be winning them all called, I'm fine going with the flow. It doesn't matter to me. How to use the God word like an adult, and 4,000 years of Jewish history in about an hour.
That's like a horse race.
That one is definitely losing. Okay, so let's take another few seconds to finish up on the poll. Data seems to be stabilizing.
I like the last one.
4,000 years of Jewish history in about an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
I might do that.
Good luck.
Oh, I've done that. That's
before.
It's all good, but I will say that one got the least amount of votes in the poll. So, did it share with you? Oh, here I go. I do share results. Can you see the results now?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. There they are. I've never done one of those. I know, Steve, when you led this
We're all so
survey,
supportive.
So it looks like I'm fine going with the flow. It doesn't matter to me. Is our definite winner, and 4,000 years of Jewish history is not going to be happening at this service. Okay,
that's more than 100%.
Thank God.
It's
because we answered multiple times.
I have no,
right? I think.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
I think it's
it says you can.
Yeah, you
can
can.
select multiple items.
Yeah, so it's
Not me, so I did it.
Of
I
the
missed
33 people, how many of the 33 voted for each one of those items is what we're looking at.
Oh, okay.
And
Oh, we were supposed to vote?
not you, Emily. You're good.
I love it.
So
I picked my favorites.
So I'm gonna pick my favorite, which is to go back to something that was said 2 weeks ago when we were talking about Nikki. And if you're new to the conversation, Nikki passed away 2 weeks plus a few days ago, and Nikki had been a member of this group and shared extensively in the second hour. So first hour, it's me doing what we're doing right now. In the second hour, we're going to be adding something to the second hour. Where's my little announcement for that? For the first 10 to 15 minutes of the second hour, I'm getting put in a chat room, or I'm going into a chat room. So if you're like, someone said, Brian, Rabbi, whatever they called me, they said, normally if you're at a church, at a synagogue, at a place, you can go and you can say, hey, minister, rabbi, preacher person, there's this thing, and you can catch them at the donut hour. And you don't have that ability here. So for the first 10, 15 minutes, there's going to be a chat room where I will be, that if you want to check in with me, if there's something, I'll be there. Attendance is not required. Just, okay. Shoot, I lost my train of thought.
Nikki.
Oh, right.
Nikki.
Nikki shared in the second hour in the donut group. She shared her heart big. And that's what left a huge hole in all of our hearts, all of the hearts of people who are here. And I don't know how to say this without it being a little bit awkward, so I'm just going to preload it with this might come out a little bit awkward. If you have that healthy kind of jealousy of, I hope people say really nice things about me when I'm gone, there's a way of front-loading that and making sure that that happens. And there's a way of making it that your passing will be... Hold on a second. We got you. All right. Is by sharing, by opening your heart, by being authentic and being honest, by saying, you know, I realized that I realized that I'm the one making myself miserable. By sharing, you know, that when you're scared, by sharing that vulnerable part. There's the great phrase by Brene Brown who says, "You're called to be brave. What are you going to do about it?" Are you willing to say to a group, I'm uncomfortable, or Rabbi, what you're talking about makes me really, really sad. And that's what I'm asking for a commitment to. So this is bringing us all the way back to, remember I said let's put a pin in this and come back. What I'm coming all the way back to is, can you commit to sharing your heart in this group? And to do that in this first hour is hard, really hard. It's easier to do in the second hour when it's smaller, and that's fine. But I want you to look, and if you've been here before, look at the faces of the people who are on the screen who you know. And think about why you like them.
Go to gallery.
And the things that you like about them are things that you know about them because they shared.
True.
Are we all willing to share where we are and be worthy of love right now as we are? All right. Does anyone have a non-intellectual response now to this?
Rob is waving his hand up and down.
Go ahead, Rob.
From Sesame Street, I hope it's non-intellectual. Sharing is what good friends do.
Yeah.
Whatever I have, you can have some too.
Right.
Oh, that's from Sesame.
That's what I said.
So let me ask, I want to go back to this and see if I can fish in the same pond and maybe get a deeper answer. If I could
That's
just have a
as
week
deep as you can go.
Let's see, Rob, give me a minute.
Of course.
If I could just have a week with nowhere to go and nothing to do, I could get my house in order. Nope, that wasn't the problem. Someone have something that opens them about this? A realization that you realize that, oh, that wasn't the problem, I was the problem.
I'm always the problem.
Thank you, Rob. Yeah, Al.
Yeah, it occurs to me, it brings me back to my first marriage where I thought, you know, if only I get married, then we're going to be together forever. And
if only
that
I
didn't work out.
Got married, then everything would be happily ever after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That wasn't the problem.
That wasn't the problem. That's a
As
hell
long
of
as
a.
you work at it.
It's a hell of a realization.
Yep. That was a tough one.
Yeah. Thank you, Al. Thank you for diving into those waters.
You didn't share enough.
Anyone have another one?
Oh, if only I were brave and a good business person, I'd be rich and famous now.
Yeah.
You want to be rich and famous?
Maybe famous and
I don't want to be famous.
Okay.
I'd like to be richer. But
richer. Yeah, not rich, but not have to do all my own fixing of floors and windows and stuff like that. I'm 70. I'm tired.
Anyone have the thought if my
I'm
life
60 and I'm tired, but anyway, that's different.
if my life were different than how it is, I would be happier.
Yeah. Or I
Thank
feel.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone besides Janet have that one? If only things were not the way that they are, I would be content. Oh, come on, people.
Sure.
Absolutely.
That's what we
It's
do.
like-
That doesn't work.
So let me leave
Now,
us with. I'm going to bring
that
us.
just doesn't fit
It
at all
doesn't
for
work.
me.
It doesn't
No.
work. There's this question asked in the Talmud, and the Talmud's got some good things in it. And the question is, who is rich? You could also say, who is happy?
The person who is content with what they have and who they are.
That's exactly the answer in the Talmud, Ray.
Babylonian Talmud, anyways.
That is exactly the answer. Who is rich? Who is happy? Whoever is content with what they have. I've told the story before of Shanti Deva. Not of Shanti. I have told stories of Shanti Deva. I was trying to think of Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti, who said to a group of people, "Do you want to know my secret?" He said, I am all right with what happens. Who is rich, who is happy? Whoever is content with what they have. My students taught me this. It's not the people who have the most who are rich, it's the people who need the least.
True.
They also taught me this one. Some people
Say that again.
The people who are rich aren't the people who have the most, but the people who need the least.
And those who love God would be the envy of kings,
It could be
monarchs, and all that.
Who is happy? Whoever is content with what they have. Who is rich? Whoever, not the people who have the most, but those who need the least. And another way that my students taught me a phrase was, there are some people so poor, all they have is money.
Yeah.
So, how do we up our contentment? How do we up our contentment?
Learning how to live with what we have.
How do
Gratitude.
we learn? How do we learn
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Okay, kids, we
Gratitude.
haven't done this in a really, really long time, and it's one of my favorite things to play. Take out your electronic device, your phone, your whatever you got. Scroll down.
Go down where?
Oh, I don't know. I'm somewhere here in what
Give
year
us
am I in?
context.
There we go. I am in 2019.
Somebody's notes, somebody's text
3 years.
messages or something?
This is my text messages from 2019. Oh, that one's with my son. So here, I'm going to use, these are groups. These are all groups. Here. Okay, here's one. There's a guy I used to teach math with. Last time we texted, we sent a meme. I look like a fox. I look like a wolf. I look like a bear. Never mind.
You look like a penis.
I think that was the
Okay.
joke, Rob.
Yeah.
So anyway, find someone you have not texted with for a very long time.
Oh.
And say, I thought of you randomly. I'm glad you are in my life. No, this isn't spam. And if you want, send it to another few people. Was thinking of you. Sending love.
That's a good one.
Good. What's happening as we do this? Sending love.
We're making connections.
We're connecting with people, right? We're
Sending
not,
in what context you prefer.
you can send them an email. You can send whatever you like. But the idea is how do we get to be more content? And the best way that I know of is through gratitude. Gratitude for what we have keeps us from feeling like we need more.
Certainly when I had to move here, away from Bigton and into Lerwick, it took me a while.
Yeah.
But one thing I have a lot of gratitude for are 5 people. And they're the 5 that helped on the day of the move in particular, but 2 of them had been helping me for 2 months before, trying to sort out what I could take and what I'd have to get rid of.
Yes.
And at the time of doing it, I don't think I had that much gratitude, not as much as I should have had.
Is it something you can fix now, Joy?
Well, I've been feeling about it, and the one thing that I can do, which I haven't done because we couldn't, I'm going to have them all to dinner as a thank you.
Wonderful. In the meanwhile, send them a note telling them you owe them a dinner.
Yeah, they know that now.
Oh, good. Wonderful.
I've told them.
Good.
The trouble is trying to get all of them together at once.
Well, I have faith something will work out.
I hope so, because I really am so grateful for everything that they did.
Yeah.
And having got the scooter now as well to go around Lerwick, things are a lot better than they were at the time of the move. I'm beginning to have a lot of gratitude for finding this flat.
I'm glad to hear that, Joy. I'm going to move us along a little bit so I make sure we get to all of my cards here. Thank you. A few announcements. The Religion Outside the Box Clubhouse has new Spotlight member who's spotlit. If you want to learn more about Ray and Patty, that Ray is our Spotlight member of the moment. Also about the Clubhouse. Hey, you want to get more involved? There's no one really running the Clubhouse. It's there. Anyone who wants to get more involved and help to manage chat and have more of a presence up there, especially if you're not already doing something in Religion Outside the Box land, I'd love to see more people stepping up in the Clubhouse to take over. Other announcement: if you make a donation to Religion Outside the Box, a monthly amount of $18 or more, you get a choice of books. The one I have one last copy of right now, it's getting printed again, is this one, 158 pages, called Rabbi Brian's Reluctant Revelation. It is a beautiful little read. It's the best piece of literature I have written. It does not fit at all in the book I am currently writing. And it made me so angry that I couldn't get this whole narrative to fit into what I'm currently writing, that I thought, oh, screw it, I'm just going to write this as its own little book because it's self-contained, and it's the story of how I got to be who I am today. If you make a donation to Religion Outside the Box, a monthly donation, you can have a copy of this book. The new ones are coming, or I'm glad to send you the Fun Theology workbook as a little token of my appreciation for you helping this service to continue. Other announcements. Oh, I have another. This is good. Is our friend Rita here? Rita, hi, my friend.
Hi there.
Rita runs the Shekhinah group. And if you want to talk more about God and use the God word more than we do in this service, please put something in the chat so you can be part of the Shekinah group email thread and show up at the Zoom
I'm
meetings.
busy.
Okay. I wanted to say one other piece about the God word. A few weeks ago, I made the announcement that when we did what we had been referring to as prayer time, and we're changing it to uplifting thought people time, I don't remember exactly what we settled on, but that I didn't want to call it prayer time because it made it seem like all the other minutes of what we were doing were not prayerful. And I didn't want to delineate and say that this is prayer, which would implicate that all other things are not. And I had the same thought about God and the use of the word God. Was that pretty much everything that we're talking about is about God and theology. And if we do a specific piece about God and say this is the God part, then that gives an implication that the other pieces of what we're doing are not God parts. So I wanted to put that thought out there and into your heads. And I had one other, is to thank all of you who are sharing in this group and who are sharing in the second hour and being vulnerable and being open, that you're really role models. And on the top of that, if you look at the Zoom screen, you look at the people in front of you, you know who those people are, who you kind of sort of know already. And I want to thank all of those people who are known, who are entities, for sharing themselves. And if I look at the screen, it's actually all of you. I think I've heard from every single person on the screen at some point in the last few bits. And that's totally cool. So thank you for that. Yeah, I was just looking at my cards. I have one. Let me look at the time. No, I don't. I don't have the time. I'm going to leave this one last thought. I biked to the supermarket last week after the service, and I was on the bike and I thought to myself, I wonder if the supermarket's going to be crowded at this time. And I realized while biking that I was entering into judgment with that very question. It wouldn't make a difference if it were crowded or not. I'm on my way. I'm going to spend my time in the market, and I'm not going to get to check out any faster than I'm going to be able to check out. But my thinking, I wonder if it's going to be crowded, was leading me down this road of judgment to it either is or it's not. It either is crowded or it's not crowded, and I don't know that I need to be in judgment with what is. Maybe I can just take the supermarket as it is. Okay. I'm going to stop there. I'm going to shut off the recording part, so then you guys should feel free to speak openly. Hold on.